Yeah, I did. I hope that you're injured. So tonight, just going to keep playing with it. I just want to try and get people on it. We'll start really basic stuff. We've got 2 newbies tonight. So we'll start with the most easy shit that you guys need to know, and that's just how to stand up. So pretty much whatever level we get to, drop off at that point and carry on there. So if you just want to work getting up, work getting up. If you want to work the elbow frame and things like that, just work on elbow frame and put resistance in. If you want to work on getting smashed down and using more of the bladed guard, we'll use some bladed guard. So I want to recap that shit because we had a great time on Monday. Like, holy hell. And so yeah, just whatever level you want to get to, then we'll put heel hooks in and all manner of things. So just starting right at the beginning, just in case there's any stuff you kind of missed. Oh my God, my knee's fucked. So getting up, if you're asked, so for the 2 new guys, most simple thing you need to know about jiu-jitsu is don't be on the floor. So if any of the guys here take you down and you hit the deck, don't stay there. It's a bad time. If you can get back to your feet, that's the best course of action. They're not going to make life easy for you, but that's essentially it. If you do that, A, you're going to survive longer, and B, you're more helpful to us. Instead of trying to teach you just complicated guard shit, this is just the best thing you can do for like the first 6 months of training. So to stand up, it's the most simple way is if someone's on you, goodbye, dude. We use an elbow frame, so this is nicknamed it Kindle Guard. All you're going to do is use that kind of top section of my elbow there, like where the fish is here, and jam it into their trap. So if Adam's over here and he's holding me down, I'm going to try and get, so you see, I'm not using the point of my elbow into his neck. I'm over the top so you can see the fish head. I'm driving down into his trap. So the more it pushes in towards me, I can kind of keep him away. And the idea of that is I can pull my leg away and try and stand up. And try and keep him away. I can then go into a wrestling stance. Creating down blocks, etc. A couple of the details then for playing on that is I want to stay 90 degrees to his pressure. So if he's pushing towards me, I want to be 90 degrees to his body. So his power is going through into my arm and I'm stabilizing it. If he circles around off the 90, so if he goes to 4 o'clock or 2 o'clock, that's going to cause me a problem because if he goes around to 4, I'm getting pushed forwards and this is an issue. If he goes around to 2, that's an issue and I'm getting pushed backwards. So I adjust using this hand. So I'm always feeling where his pressure is coming from with my shoulder and adjusting with this hand here. So I'm always trying to find a way of keeping him at 90 degrees, using my arm to keep him away. I'm not batting him away, so I'm not using my tricep to kind of straighten out. I'm just using my shoulder to drive that into him and try to keep his head down. If he gets too high for me, he'll make me windmill, and then that's when I'm going to get shoulder problems and getting dicked into the ground. But at that point, if he's going up high, I should be able to get high as well. Like he should be if I've got this stable, if he's pushing up, I should be able to lift off of him, like almost carry myself up to upright. So that's just the first part. As well, like if I want to stop him from completely circling me, if he's connected here, if I've got my elbow all the way around his head, it should be more difficult for him to slip around to my back because I've got his head. If my arm is too short, he could slip it. If he disconnects to try and slip my arm, I can just turn back. Does that make sense? So I'm not precious with holding it. If he's got distance, I don't have to use this. I can just, like Naki says, just slap him in the head. Yeah. You've not seen that? Yeah. So if anyone hasn't seen this on Naki yet, all he does is as you're approaching him to try and stop you, just slaps you in the forehead. It works just as well. So if that is, we'll have a quick go at that, just getting used to getting upright again, but using that extra frame to try and stop people from turning around you. So So if you guys want to peel off and just try that, just all you're going to do is one person just try and put pressure into the person's hips, and all you're going to try and do is leg on the inside of his legs here, just trying to get upright and try and get away from him. That's it. Just feel that. Make sense? So if you're happy with that part, if you want to train with that part, we'll do that part. If you want to add to it, use the stamp on the calf, the orphan limb. So not only am I framing on his head, I'm also stamping on his calf a little bit, just curling my toes over his calf muscle to try and control his leg. So from there, my options are if he pushes too hard, I can grab hold of his lat, elevate, and just take him over. If there's a chance that he could base on his arm, and I've got confidence in doing it, I can grab his wrist. Oh, sorry. And come over myself. You panicked. I can grab his wrist and try, but my preference is not doing that because essentially I'm backhammer locking myself. But if I do that, hold on to his wrist, he's also holding on to me essentially. And if he pulls his arm, yeah, I'm really going to fuck myself up. So I don't like that. But it's completely up to you. It's just an option. Personal preference. I've got a stamp on the calf. I'm a cross-body hook. Elevate over. Heel hooks, etc. Other option is if he, so I can stand, I can sweep, or if he suddenly regrets his choices and goes backwards, I can, because I've got this control over his calf, come back. If he takes pressure off for a second, I've got this control over his calf, I can just push him over and stamp on his leg. Make sense? So I can either go up, around, or because I've got that calf control, I can stamp and just pull it through. So I'm using my foot, that kind of like little baby hand here. That's creepy. To pull his leg through like that to break his base. So if I can get my heel through, fantastic. Or if I can use my toes, use my knee, just to ride him over. Yeah. So I'm using my hand and my knee to just come forwards. So if he takes the pressure off, so that's kind of the thing is we want. That's why I spend some time on this drill, because I want them. As soon as they make a connection, I want it to be a case of they can't win. They're either going, you're either getting up and getting away. They're going flying from the sweep, or if they want to disconnect, they get swept anyway. So it's like as soon as you make a connection, you're kind of doomed. Like you're not going to win. So if you're new, just get used to the whole standing up part. Like we'll go into the rest of it later on. If you've done some before, I want you to play games where person on top put the pressure on, like increase resistance over time, don't just go balls to the wall. Person on the bottom, get used to finding the best course of action, either sweeping, standing, or often limbing them over. Make sense? And then we'll add in some bladed stuff afterwards. Okay? Once you're happy with that, once you've played that enough, I want to give you a good few minutes on this. Go from the moment we get taken down, find your way back into the frame and get straight back up again. So just do a bit where you're already starting down here and you're getting used to getting up, but then have a few where you're letting your partner take you down and you're going to go here and playing. Make sense? So have a bit of a game on it. Tell your partner what level of resistance you want. Don't go too hard on them if they don't want it, if they're not going to get a benefit out of it. But if you're going too easy, also just tell your partner, up it then, give me some more. You have to tell your partner what you want. Happy? Go play. Off you go. Yeah. Right, so what I want to do then is I'll set you a goal and I want you to accomplish it. Either get up, sweep them, using what we just did, or sweep them a more traditional way. So one thing I just Naki mentioned was using the great white grip, or like arm drags and stuff like that. So I don't think I found a better nickname for it, but I call it the swashbuckling leg. Is that when I've got this cross hook here, it allows me to sumigash and send him backwards here. Open leg, heel hook, That's if I've got this cross hook. But if I can go put into a regular butterfly hook, I can take this arm from the Kindle. I can then send him regular butterfly. So that's why I call it like a swashbuckling leg, because you're always kind of feeding which way you want that knee to go. If it's this way, I can send them backwards. If it's this way, I can send them forwards. But I just need to make sure that whatever arm I'm sending him over is gone, because I'm sending him on a diagonal. So if I'm this way, that's the arm I'm sending him over, because it's a diagonal across. If I'm sending him this way, it's this arm I need to take out. So I can go from a Kindle to an arm drag, catch, hold up the arm, and just take him over, and then pin him. So the thing I want you to do then is either get up, sweep them, either one way, or one way, or take the back, which, if I can arm drag again, I have here. So you're going to go from either the frame itself or a takedown. I want you to accomplish either a stand-up, a sweep either way, well, 3 ways, or take the back. Just succeed in some way. Don't be smashed down. The resistance over time. Again, don't go balls to the wall. I was just saying to these guys, find that point that it's not too easy that your partner just breezes through it. It's not too hard that they die all the time, but find that middle ground where they grow, okay? So you have to be present enough to see your partner's reactions, and if they're just getting fucked, like, too hard. And if they're just getting up and doing whatever they want to, too easy. Like, find that happy middle ground. Benefit of doing that for you is you learn more about holding people down, and they have to then solve those problems. But give them a chance to solve the problems. Don't just tell them the answers as well. Like if you said, oh, I've got your leg, I've got your leg. Let them figure it out. Well, if they can't get up, it's simple answers. Like, just keep doing it until they solve it. Make sense? So we'll do that 5-ish minutes until I get bored. And then we'll go into inside bladed, and we'll add that into it as well. So play. So you got drags with a grip, going either way, backwards, orphan limb, and taking the back. Again, we're going to carry on this game a little bit. So as I said earlier, like, fall off at the point you feel most comfortable. If it starts to get a bit too complicated, don't make it too complicated for yourself. Keep it as simple as possible. If there's points where you're already feeling that you fail, just hang around there. Like, there's no point rushing it. Just keep working on that. But if you want to add this into it as part of the game, then be my guest, and it's inside bladed. So how about you all? Because video, and you felt it. So I've been playing elbow frame, and I've got my foot over the calf here. So if you haven't seen this, please pay attention. So I've got my open hook, and I've got my foot over the top of his calf. I'm using my little baby hand to hold onto his calf muscle. Say if he does then crash me down a little bit, I do get broken. I'm then going to change this foot and go over the back of his calf here. So now I've got my knees together, one over here and one over here. From there, if he decides to, so I'm kind of trapping.